Hey kids, do you like fairy tales? Well, in today's video, we are going on a magical adventure inside a storybook. Are you ready? Then let's go! Once upon a time in a faraway land, there was a little girl who loved to read stories. Her name was Alice, and she had all kinds of books, from adventures with pirates to journeys to outer space. But her favorite book was a big, old book about brave knights and dangerous dragons. The cover was worn out and the pages smelled like cinnamon and magic. And indeed, it wasn't just any ordinary book. Oh no, it was a storybook, which meant that when you opened it, the characters would leap out and come to life. One day, while reading about a princess trapped in a tower, Alice noticed something strange. The book seemed to be glowing, and when she touched it, the pages began to spin and whoosh. She found herself falling through the air and landing with a thud right inside the book. Alice sat up and looked around. It was the world of the book, the very one she had been reading about. In the distance, she could see a majestic castle with towers reaching up to the clouds. As she walked toward it, she heard the sound of trumpets and drums. Looking back, she realized that the forest behind her was gone. Instead, there was only a wall of words, and now she couldn't get back. Suddenly, a handsome knight in shining armor appeared before her. He introduced himself as Sir Reginald the Brave and offered to help her find the wicked witch who had trapped her here. Alice knew that to leave this place, she needed to find the witch and ask her for help. So, together, they set off on a quest through talking trees and singing flowers. After a while, Alice and Sir Reginald came across a bubbling stream. On the other side stood a small cottage with smoke curling from its chimney. Maybe the witch would let them take a shortcut across her garden. But before they could cross the stream, a terrible roar echoed through the forest. A huge dragon swooped down from the sky, blocking their path. "You can't get past me," the dragon boomed, his eyes flashing. "I am the guardian of this realm." Sir Reginald drew his sword and got ready to fight, but Alice stopped him. She remembered a story from her own world about dragons and their love for shiny objects. Quickly, she took the necklace she always wore and held it out to the dragon. "Here you can have my necklace," she said. The dragon snatched the necklace and examined it closely. "Well, that's pretty," he said at last. "Thank you, little girl. You may pass." And with a flick of his tail, he disappeared back into the clouds. As Alice and Sir Reginald made their way through the garden, they heard a cackle. From behind a bush jumped a little black cat. "Oh, you want to get to the witch's house, do you?" she purred. "Well, I know a secret path, but I'm just scared to walk there alone. Would you mind keeping me company?" Although Alice didn't trust cats, she didn't want to waste any more time. So she agreed and followed the cat through a maze of hedges. Soon enough, they arrived at the witch's front door. Peeking inside, Alice saw bubbling potions, strange plants, and a cauldron hanging over a fire. And stirring the potion in the cauldron was none other than the Wicked Witch. "So you've come to ask for my help," the witch said, turning around. "Very well. To get what you want, you must first answer my riddle. What has an eye but cannot see?" Before Alice could think of an answer, Sir Reginald shouted, "A needle." The witch waved her magic wand. "Wrong answer." "Now I must turn you into a frog," she croaked. Just then, a tiny green frog hopped out of the cauldron and onto Sir Reginald's shoulder. Alice gasped. She didn't want her friend to become a frog, so she quickly said, "Wait, I think I know the answer. Is it a shirt button?" The witch waved her magic wand again. "Correct. You may take my magic beans, but hurry, for they will soon sprout and block your way home." "Thank you," Alice whispered, taking the beans and hiding them in her pocket. Then she and Sir Reginald hurried away. As the witch had warned, the beans sprouted into a thick beanstalk that blocked their path. Alice pulled out the beans and sprinkled them on the ground. "Maybe they'll grow a bridge," she said hopefully. And sure enough, the beans grew into a bridge that stretched all the way to the other side. But as Alice stepped onto the bridge of words, it began to shake and wobble. The letters and words started to fall apart, threatening to trap her forever. Alice stumbled on a page with a torn edge. It was a piece of the missing magic word, and she felt a sudden urge to find the rest of it. She placed the fragment on the ground and continued her journey. Next, she came across a worried-looking dragon curled up beneath a bush. "What's wrong?" she asked. The dragon sniffed and pointed his nose toward the sky. "My eggs are in danger," he said, his voice shaky. "A hungry fox is trying to eat them all." Without hesitation, Alice ran to help. She distracted the fox by throwing some of her magic beans, then quickly gathered the dragon's eggs and hid them in her pockets. The grateful dragon watched her leave. "Thank you," he said. "When you need my help, call my name." And with a flick of his tail, he disappeared. As Alice walked on, she spotted a group of bunnies playing near some bushes. One of them was missing, though, and she could hear sniffling coming from behind the leaves. "Is everything okay?" she asked. A small voice replied, "My sister is stuck in that hole, and none of us can reach her." Peeking into the hole, Alice could see a fluffy white rabbit stuck inside. An idea popped into her head. She reached into her pocket and pulled out one of the dragon's eggs. Carefully, she rolled it to the edge of the hole and gave it a gentle nudge. The rabbit's eyes widened as she watched the egg disappear into the darkness. Then she heard a loud crack and the whole ground trembled. The bunnies cheered and hopped around Alice. "Thank you for saving my sister," they cried. One of the bunnies noticed that Alice was sad because she still couldn't find the missing magic word. "Don't worry," she said. "We know where you can find the rest of it." The bunnies led her to a nearby tree with a hollow trunk. Inside, Alice found a wooden box. Opening it, she discovered two pieces of the magic word, endear. With all three pieces in hand, Alice placed them on the ground. They glowed brightly, forming a path that led right to the witch's house. Alice raced toward the cottage, and this time she wasn't afraid. She knocked on the door, and the little black cat opened it. "The witch isn't here," she said, "but I think she left something for you." The cat led her into the kitchen and pointed to a book on the table. It was exactly the same as Alice's storybook. And as she flipped through the pages, she realized that each character had a special message for her. Sir Reginald told her that bravery wasn't always about fighting. Sometimes it was about standing up for what was right, like when he had listened to her instead of attacking the dragon. The dragon said that being different or strong wasn't a reason to be mean. He apologized for scaring her and promised to be kinder to all creatures. The bunnies thanked her for saving their sister and reminded her that even the smallest person could be a hero. Finally, the witch appeared behind Alice. "Ah, you've learned some valuable lessons, haven't you?" She said with a smile. "I'm not a bad witch, you know? I just wanted to see if you would stay true to yourself and help others along the way." She handed Alice a magic wand. "Here, use this to return home." Alice waved the wand and poof, she was back in her room with her storybook in hand. From that day on, whenever Alice read the story of Sir Reginald and the dragon, she knew that the real adventure had been about friendship and kindness. The end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this magical adventure, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more enchanting tales. Don't forget to share the love and magic with your friends. Until next time, happy reading and dreaming.